Now that you are familiar with the email migration terms and you have backed up your email messages, we can finish the process. You've watched the first two of this three-part series about migrating your email services away from liveBooks. Now you're ready to log into your domain dashboard and change your domain name settings, or DNS, to actually make the switch. Hello again, this is David, a support representative here at liveBooks, and I'm going to walk you through the final steps to complete your email migration. Here's a heads up, although changing your DNS can be done in about 10 to 15 minutes, there's often a lag time between changing your settings and how long it takes for the new settings to be recognized on the internet. This lag time is called propagation and usually takes less than half an hour. For the purposes of this video, we're using a GoDaddy dashboard. If you use another registrar, your dashboard will look different but will have the same functions. In fact, it's even possible that your GoDaddy dashboard might look a little different. If this causes too much confusion, please contact your registrar for assistance. Before we actually go through the process, here's a quick summary of what we're about to do. The first step is we're going to reset your name servers, which is part of your DNS. This will cause all your settings to default back to your registrar. If you decide you need to contact your registrar for assistance, make sure they know that the process is supposed to include this reset. Step 2. We're going to add a couple of records to make sure your domain continues to point toward liveBooks for website hosting purposes. These records are called the A record and Cname. Finally, in step 3, we're going to add the mail exchange or MX records for your new email provider. This will officially make your new email account work and replace your old liveBooks mail. Okay, let's begin. When you log into your registrar account, navigate to the Domain Control Center. You might have to drill down a bit to find where the Nameserver settings are. You'll then come to an area where you see the liveBooks Nameservers. This is what you'll have to reset. To do the reset, you'll have to choose the default type setting as opposed to custom. Click Save after you've chosen the default settings, and you should then see the Nameservers for your domain registrar replace those of liveBooks, like this. Here's a tip. Keep in mind that changes to your domain settings can take time. If, after you've changed your name servers, or any part of your DNS for that matter, you still see the old settings or no settings at all, try refreshing your browser. Once your name servers have been reset, you'll then need to edit the Dns Own Files. You may have to go back to the Domain Control Center for this and click Manage DNS again, or you may already see a tab labeled DNS Zone File. Once in the area for your zone files, the first one you'll want to edit is the A record. Click on the Edit button for this record and change the IP address to 64.62.247.41. Be sure to save, and if necessary, confirm this new setting. Here's a tip for network solution customers. While you're in the area to edit the A record, be sure to remove the A record for the www subdomain. This is recommended because we're going to add a Cname for the www subdomain. If you don't remove the A record for this, then the Cname record will be in conflict. Again, save this change before moving on to the next step. Speaking of Cname records, changing that is our next step. We're going to change, or add if you're a network solution customer, the record for the www Cname. That new setting should be agency5.livebooks.com. If you have a liveBooks companion blog, you'll also have to add a Cname for your blog subdomain. Click the button to add a record, select Cname as the record type. For the host field, you'll enter blog, and in the points to field, you'll enter blog6.livebooks.com. Once again, be sure to save your changes. To sum things up so far, you should see the following records. Root A record, pointing to 64.62.247.41, Cname, www, pointing to agency5.livebooks.com, and if you have a liveBooks companion blog, a Cname, blog, pointing to blog6.livebooks.com. Refresh your browser if you don't see these records yet. Once they take, you should be able to see your website once again in your web browser on your custom domain. If you don't see it yet, recall what I said about propagation. It might take a little bit. Once your changes have propagated and you can see your site again, we can move on to adding your MX records. The new MX records will be given to you by your new email provider. Note, for this example, we are using Zoho's MX records. Keep in mind that many email providers like Google Apps and Zoho will require you to verify that you're the owner of your custom domain during your account setup. They'll do this by having you add some special settings to your DNS. For example, they might generate a special Cname for you to add. This process would be almost identical to adding a Cname, just as we did earlier in this video. Whatever the process is for account setup for your new email provider, just follow their steps to create your account and email box or boxes. Some will have you verify your domain before they have you enter the MX records, while others, like Google Apps, will have you add the MX records as part of the verification process. Ultimately, once you enter the MX records, your new email provider service will kick in. Once all this is done, your settings should look like this. The records we just changed are highlighted in red. Congratulations, you've done it. For the time being, your new email provider should be able to give you a web-based way to see your email inbox using your web browser. They can also give you the settings you'll need to configure your email client, such as Apple Mail, to use your new email account. Contact them if you need help with using your new email services. One last thing, once you're satisfied that your new email services are in place and working for you, please contact liveBooks with your permission to remove your old email services. Of course, if you have any questions or issues about the liveBooks DNS settings, let us know that too. We can be reached at support@livebooks.com or give us a call at 415-200-0560. Thanks.